every minute, man, I swear that she can get it. Say if you a bad bitch, put your hands up high. Hands up high, hands up high. Tell them dim the lights down right now. Put me in the...
Ladies and gentlemen, hey, welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Quanjenae, and today I am going to be taking you guys step by step through how I put these. For the most part, I would call these knotless, but it's kind of boss, but it's not necessarily a knot at the root, so I call it knotless. But you can call it whatever you want to call it. It's just braids over my locks. You can also do these braids on your regular hair, so make sure y'all stay tuned and y'all just enjoy the video. That was a really quick intro. I was ready to get into the video, but this is my hair before I start. If y'all want to learn more about my locks, make sure y'all go check out my video where I talk all about my locks, and make sure y'all go follow me on my lock page. So yes, this is my locks freshly before, and my babies are about to be 1 year. I am super excited about that, but I'm not gonna hold y'all up no much longer. I'm going to go ahead and get into the stuff I used. We're going to start off with what I used. I used this x-pressions hair. It was 58 inches, but I like to use queen bee hair, and I didn't record that, but I used that like when I ran out of this hair. And then I only used one pack of this 613 hair. I didn't really like this 613 hair, so I wouldn't recommend it. But yeah, that's what they had in the store, and it was cheap. And I used about 6 packs of the hair total. And so I just started off by getting this mirror, and I started off by going in with retwisting my hair into sections. I didn't retwist my whole head. I only started off by retwisting like the back row and then working my way up. I don't know why I did that. Now, I could have started off with retwisting my whole head, and I feel like it would have made things seem like they were going by quicker, but as I got like moved into sections, it just like worked out how it did. So here I just use the mirror. Using the mirror can really help you. This 3-way mirror is from Amazon. I know they got them all over, but this is, people ask a lot like, how can you part your hair, or like how are y'all parting your hair so easily? I either do this way, or I do like if you have 2 Apple devices, you can set up your Apple devices, and I did that method in one of my retwisting videos that y'all can go see. So if you don't want to buy a mirror and you have 2 Apple devices, this is a way that you can do that. So here is just me going in and retwisting my hair. I didn't necessarily show y'all how I retwisted my hair because this video wasn't about the retwisting, it was more about the braiding, but I just wanted to make sure that my parts was kind of clean for this look. So I went in and I just made sure that I just tried to get like things the best way I could and get my parts as straight as possible. So when doing this, I skipped into going into showing y'all how to start the braid. So I already retwisted my hair. I take like a piece of the hair that is kind of the width of my lock, and so what you want to do is just wrap it around your lock. So you're going to use your lock as like the 3rd piece of hair, and I try to grip it as close to my scalp as possible. And as y'all see, some braids are looser than others, but that's just how I gripped it. And I go in and I start braiding like regular. I check to see, and I know it's moving kind of fast. I'll get into more like details and close-ups of how I'll show y'all how to do it again, but you just want to braid like regular. And y'all can see that my braids are not perfect, and that's something that you're gonna have to like just accept, especially if you have locks. Like some braids are gonna have some lumps, and for me, I didn't want to put too much product in my hair, but you can definitely add product. So here I am going to show y'all like where I add hair in. As the hair starts to get a little thin, I will add hair in. For adding the hair and feeding it in, it's kind of a process that you have to get used to. And here I'm showing y'all, this is how I braid and this is how I hold it. I just take the hair underneath everything, and I put it with one strand with one of the braiding strands, and I put the other braiding strand with the other braiding strand, and I just start to braid regular. This isn't very important. I know the camera is kind of going in and out, and I'll show y'all again in a different camera angle, but you want to make sure that you have like tension, because if you don't, the braid will like create a weird loop and it won't look seamless. And some of my braids, like especially with doing these knee length braids, like they were so long, so feeding in some pieces they did look a little loose, and some pieces I just let stay like that because I wasn't going for it, but a lot of pieces I was trying to make sure that there was tension so it could look as seamless as possible when feeding it in. And you want to make sure that when you're feeding the piece in, that you're feeding it underneath, and that, like I said, you have that tension so that it's not too loose. And you will have some braids, but if you want to leave some of the braids like that, you can. And when feeding them in, you want to braid down until the piece is loose. And I'll show y'all again here that I'm grabbing one strand with one strand that I'm already braiding with, and I'm putting another strand with the other strand, and then I just start to braid down regular. Here you can kind of see like I put the hair underneath the wrong hair, and it's not the wrong hair, but it will create like a weird kind of lump if you don't grip it right. So I just keep braiding, and it looks fine to me. But if you want to, achieve a seamless look, you just have to keep practicing how to place the hair underneath what part of the braid. And so now when I get to this part, this is where I did 2 locks. It's kind of a hard angle, and I only did a couple like this. I probably did like maybe this row, and that was it with doubling the locks, because I was just so tired of braiding, and these locks were really, really small. So what I did was I just took one lock with one strand, and I took another lock with the other strand, and then the third piece of hair I just used as like the third strand of the braid, and then I just braided down. So this is more like a common way of how people braid. And you could probably find, like, if you can do like the one strand, you can definitely do the two. The two made it very like easy. So, and you couldn't tell, it looked really seamless in the back. So I couldn't really show y'all a better angle of me doing the two, but like I said, I did about like that whole row with 2 in it. So I am going to come up on a better angle, but I just did want to say, when I got to the top of my hair, a lot of these were smaller. You want to make sure that you're not putting too much hair to weigh your hair down. So like I said, when I did strand for strand, the strands were almost the size of my lock. I didn't try to put a thick strand with a skinny lock. I tried to do, the strand, the width of the lock. And as y'all can see, like, this braid is tremendously smaller than any of the other ones. Okay, so here is a better view of how I start the braid again. So you want to wrap the hair around your lock and get it as close to your scalp as possible. And then you want to, I kind of like just twist it around so I can get a better grip. Sometimes my grip is better on my right side than my left side. So like you can kind of tell that with some of my braids, and that's fine with me. But like I said, it takes practice, and I was tired. But I started to take this one out, and I was like, nah, I'm just gonna let it be loose, as long as it's not too loose and it's not pulling. But as y'all can see, like, this one is closer to my scalp. I like them like that, and sometimes it creates a knot, and sometimes it doesn't. So I just leave it if it's on there good enough and it's not pulling my hair, because for me, I don't really care. I like the braid to not like be too close onto my scalp, because sometimes that tugs and pulls at my scalp and it causes it to be irritated. But that's also my lazy preference. So if you want yours to be, onto your scalp, you just have to have a tighter grip as you're gripping. And I just braid it down until my lock is almost gone. And I like to have my lock in the middle. So I'll try to get my lock in the middle of my braid to where I'm at in the feeding the piece in, and I just feed the piece with my lock. As y'all can see, you want to connect it, like, not connect it, but you see what I'm saying. And then you want to just braid regular. And here you have to have like a really good grip to make your lock as flat as possible. I try to braid as tight as possible here, because I know, like, I put a lot of product on my hair when I was retwisting it, and it wasn't like intentional. So I was like intentionally not using product when I was braiding it, because I was like, yeah, I did way too much when I was retwisting it. So I didn't want all this product in my hair. But you can see, like I said, you are going to have some lumps, but to me, this is a good braid. I fed that piece in really well, and you just see, like, the bumps from my locks, but you don't see the piece from the braid. So here again, I'm feeding that piece in. For one braid, I probably feed in about 4 pieces. So I feed in a piece when my lock is kind of going away, and then I feed in another piece when the braiding hair is going down, and then I feed in about 2 more pieces as I get down to the braid being the length that I want it to be. And here you can see that you want to just braid. I think I braid underhand. I'm not sure how other people braid, but it's important to know, like, your style of how you braid, because that will help. And really, as y'all can see, it's just literally like adding those pieces with those pieces and aligning it properly so that you could just braid down. And I just try to keep a grip, and Yeah, that's just the best way I can explain. Like, try to keep it as tight of a grip. And this is me braiding my last braid. If y'all needed more like I say representation. Oh goodness, repetition of me doing the braids. Make sure y'all go replay those clips, because that was the best way I could get those clips. And I wanted to say, like, if anybody has a way how they hold these braids, I was putting these braids in my mouth, and I didn't really like the fact that I had to hold it in my mouth to get a close grip, and it wasn't nobody to hold my braid for me. So this was how I was getting my braid tight, or I was trying to wrap it around my head without it pulling my edges. But this was the best I could do, and y'all can see the frustration in my face. I was like, bruh, this is my last braid. I'm just ready to be done. It took me 4 days. It took me 4 days to do these braids, and they do go to my knees, and y'all will see me like put the final touches on them. But I stopped and did multiple things throughout the 4 days. It wasn't like 4 days straight I was braiding, but I would say within the 4 days I probably braided a total of like 24 hours. Yeah, it took me about like 24 hours to complete these braids. Yeah, but I went in and I used this foam on my head, and I always use foam, especially when I use the type of gel that the gel that I use, the locking gel that I use to retwist my hair, because it will get white if you don't go in with foam. So I make sure I get the foam all down my hair. And I also wanted to make sure I got the foam on my ends, because I knew that I was going to be putting the flexi rods on my ends. But these braids, they're not heavy, it just is a lot of braids. So I have to get used to like the longness of the braids, and it just being a lot of braids on my head. But other than that, I would say like I really don't think I would have an issue, and I haven't had an issue with me having them in my head for a couple of days. But just making sure that I'm getting all this around, because I don't want none of it to be white when I dry it, because of my retwist and my scalp, like, you know, being dry. And I just was so proud of myself. This was just a good experience. So here I go in with the flexi rods. I don't know why I didn't start from the ends and do the flexi rod like from the end and go down, but I just was in my zone. Like I said, I was so ready to be done with doing these braids. But I really wanted to get like a really, really cute curl, and I think I need to do like less braids at a time. And I did that like a couple of nights ago. I did less flexi rods, and the curl came out a little bit curlier. But I think because I didn't have any heat, it didn't come out as curly as I was hoping. So I was thinking about re-dipping them, because I don't, like I said, don't wrap them like this. This purpose of me showing y'all the process of me doing these flexi rods was just for me to show y'all that I did flexi rod them to get that curl in them. But I would definitely wrap the flexi rods different, like I said, from the ends, and then go up and then dip them in the hot water, so that way it's not the curl will stay a little bit more. Before dipping them, I sprayed this Got to Be glue in there. That was just because some of my locks was a little bit frizzy in the back, and so I just like to spray this on my hair after I finish to just get some of the frizziness down before I dip them. And yeah, it take like some of that frizz now. And here's my Kindle that I just pour the water into my sink, and then I dip my braids in it. And here's me trying to attempt to blow dry the hair. Now y'all know synthetic hair does not get dry at all, so I don't know what I was thinking, but I was just blow drying for my life, and it took forever. And I think that's why my curls also didn't come out right, because I didn't wait for them to dry. I literally took the flexi rods out, as y'all will see, and they were not dry at all. They were still very much wet. This is a couple of days later, and I have been wearing my hair out, and I also put some more flexi rods in it, but I didn't re-dip them, so the curls are still kind of just more like waves. But I am absolutely in love with my hair. I wish I would have did the whole back like the color that my hair is. I really don't like the two-tone, but that is just the color that my locks is. I wish my hair was all over one color, but it is what it is. Really cute. I will do these again, probably not as long, But I love the long look, but it just took too long. And I know that blonde hair in the back is frizzy, but that hair is terrible hair. Like I said, I wouldn't recommend using that 613 hair, but I love these braids. I love everything about it. I'm going to try to keep them in for at least a month, and I'll keep y'all updated on any other styles that I do. I just want to make sure that y'all know to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch y'all next video. Bye.